Folks. Hello, everybody. Trying to get this thing rolling, and it's really driving me crazy. But let's see what we can do. You've all been extremely patient. So, Nick, high carb, gotcha, buddy. Potato, strong. Will, vegan, big red. Trying to get you on, brother. And natural lifestyle show. And who else? Shout outs coming to ya. Jump on when you can. Look around in your Gmail accounts or your up that little bell thing, the little alert thing. Hopefully you'll see some kind of notice there. This vegan keeping it real hangout is open to all comers. Big red, dude.
All right. Did we figure it out?
I think so. I hope so. I just invited a bunch of people. Let me. I'll tell you what. I'm gonna ask you to do something, Nick.
Okay.
I want you to share with the viewers some of the vegan topics you want to discuss tonight, and I'm gonna try and invite all the folks that I saw that tried to hop on here. So go ahead and just go ahead and wax vegan.
Well, I mean, one thing I wanted to talk about because first I was gonna ask you how your vegan meetups went
Okay.
with
Well, you can see that they need some work on the technical side.
what?
You can tell that they need a little work.
Oh no, I was talking about the one that you went to in real life.
Oh, dude, yeah, dude, I found this. It was cool. It was an Advaita vegan meetup, and it was very cool. I've mentioned Advaita on my site a couple times, and so these folks were very cool, very open-minded, kind of mature vegans, been doing it a while. It was a good scene, very low key, but it was nice.
Yeah.
Took about an hour to get there, but got there.
It's worth it though, right?
Oh, hell yeah, hell yeah. Did you ever get? I know you were looking at getting into one of yours. Did you ever get on it?
I've gone to 3 since we last talked.
Are you kidding?
No, man. I went to this kickball one where we all met up at a park.
Yeah.
And we had lunch. It is pretty much like an all-you-can-eat vegan buffet, pretty much, because with all the food that everyone brings.
Yeah.
Well, I just ate until I was stuffed. I ate so much food that I didn't even have dinner. Yeah, man. I ate around 1 or 2 o'clock in the middle of the day, and then I just fell asleep around 8 without eating anything else.
Dude, that's so cool, man. Did you?
It really is like an all-you-can-eat buffet, dude. I'm just helping myself to everyone's plates. I'm I don't want to be disrespectful and not try their stuff, so I try so much of everyone's stuff.
Dude, that's awesome, man. Because a lot of times you can find some really good food and stuff like that. Now, was this a potluck thing where you took food, or it was all there for you?
Yeah, no, it was a potluck thing where I brought food. The first one the first one I went to, I wasn't really sure what to bring, so I just brought some fruits with me, and one guy brought something everyone brought people brought these lasagna and baked ziti and pasta and some kinds of pasta. it was like a lot of Italian food, pretty
Oh,
much.
that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, I think that was like I never had Big Z like um before, so
Oh,
my first time having.
I love baked ziti. What do they do? They do like a vegan cheese with it.
Yeah, yeah, and even someone brought a vegan mac and cheese. I mean, it was a lot of high-fat foods, but like I
Yeah,
don't really eat those that often, so it was nice to treat myself to it.
that's cool, man. Yeah, it's like that. A lot of those vegan things, man. That there's a lot of food there that's kind of questionable, but at least it's vegan.
And but what was I gonna say? But there weren't even like even the second one I went to. The second one I went to was a lot closer to me.
Yeah.
It was like the next town over, like 5 minutes away,
Huh.
and it was at some dude in the backyard of some dude's house. Like it was another a vegan potluck, and it was like basically in his backyard, but like in his garden pretty much because he has like an organic garden.
Huh.
So
That's
that
that's pretty cool. So it's like a lot of fresh raw food.
yeah, yeah, it wasn't all raw. Like there's a lot of cooked stuff,
Yeah.
but like there's like three meetups that went because there's like a vegetarian, a vegan, and a raw one all on Long Island. So they usually like unify and come together, and that's what that garden party was.
Was that in New Jersey?
No, no, no. This is in New York on Long Island,
Huh.
and
Well, that's. So, how long did it take you to get there?
oh no, no, it was all all these are pretty local. Like one of them was like 5 minutes away from my house that I drove to.
Dude, that's incredible. That's awesome.
Yeah, and that kickball one I mentioned that was like a half-hour drive, but it was easy to get to. So they're all pretty close. For yours, did you have to drive to like a different like state? Like how did you have to drive out of the state to get to it?
Not out of the state, no, but I had to, I'm up in the mountains and I had to drive down to the valley and then kind of go north of the nearest city to get to this place. It was in a really beautiful area. It's kind of like Virginia horse country. It's really, really lovely. It just took a while to get up there, but she had a nice house and it was kind of cool because even though everybody was vegan, the main the main point of the meeting was this other topic. So, which in a way was cool. So there was something to talk about. I should have. I kind of wanted to bring up veganism and talk a little bit about that, but the topic was something else. So
Yeah, but everyone there was vegan.
well, at least everyone there was eating vegan.
Oh.
I'm not sure if everyone was 100%.
Mhm.
But the cool thing that I really loved about it was that the event was designated vegan, so you know
Yeah, that's
it was good.
same way. That's the same way mine was. That's actually. I'm glad we brought that up because it's going to segue into the topic, which came up because they. I think I was the only like me and one or two other people were the only vegans at these meetups.
You're
And
kidding?
no, I'm not kidding. Everyone else was either like vegetarian or not there yet.
Oh, interesting.
And but they all brought vegan food though. So I mean, and it was like it was like 30 something people, and only like two or three were vegan.
That's really interesting, man. And did you have people like asking you questions or talking with you?
Um, yeah, I that's the thing. I talked with a lot of people who weren't vegan, and um, they were just there to have a good time and enjoy the food pretty much. And I don't know. I met some really cool people, and I even met one guy who was like high raw, and
Yeah.
I was talking to him, and I don't know, just talking to people, it kind of like who weren't, because I don't really talk to a lot of people that much, so like going to these events is kind of like a big deal for me, because I'm not really that social, like other than with my family and friends.
Dude, that's really cool that you went out there. That's good then, man. Did you feel comfortable?
Yeah, I think a big part of it was because there was so much food, I could just keep eating and not have to talk.
Dude, dude, I hear you, man. I hear you. Dude,
And
you got a lot to say, man. You shouldn't worry about that. You got a lot to converse about, man. You'll be great.
yeah, I mean, like I'm trying to keep on going to them to get better at it, you know.
Don't
And
worry, man. Don't worry, man. It'll come. It's just, it's like anything. It's like skateboarding, you know. You go out the first time, you're not going to do it the first time, you know.
yeah, and that's what I mean. I'm hoping to get better at socializing with people I've never like talked to before.
Dude, you'll be awesome, man. You'll be awesome.
Well, thank you. But yeah, so like I was talking to this I don't know, just like talking to people there, it kind of made me reconsider where I am, like with talking to people about veganism, because like
Huh.
when I first started, like I really want. Oh, hello.
Is that Phyllis?
It is. Hi, Paul.
All right. Hello there.
I have no idea how I got on here, but I'm on.
Great. It's good to have you. Let me
Thank
let
you.
me rearrange this thing here. All right. Excellent.
I know I look like my face is a little tiny face down there.
You look great. You look great. Um, so what I'm going to do is let's see. Let you jump in here now. What Nick was talking about was, I don't know if you were watching us, but he's been going to these vegan meetups. You know, are you familiar with Meetup.com?
No.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, Meetup.com is this site you can go to, and there's these meetups across the country, and I guess around the world. And there's meetups for all kinds of different activities, people who have different interests. And there are some meetups that are for vegans. And so Nick's been going to some of these, and I just went to one here in Virginia, and it's cool because everybody there is a vegan, and you can talk about veganism, and you get some support. Um, but but anyway, let's hear from you. What's on your mind? What's uh, what's your vegan story?
My vegan story. Is this my interview, Paul?
Not yet, not yet, but that's coming. That's coming.
Oh, my vegan story is a never-ending battle sometimes, but
That's all right.
I don't know. I'm hanging in there.
Good, 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 good. So anyway, Nick, what were you in the middle of a thought? What were you saying?
Yeah, yeah. I was just gonna say, like when you first start and you learn everything about veganism, you just wanna tell everybody, and sometimes that can come off like a little pushy to people, because what I try and do in every situation is put myself in someone else's shoes, and we've all been there, like before. We've all been there, like eating standard American diet, and
Right.
just talking with people at these meetups. Like, there's such great people, and I can't ever see myself like trying to force my ideas on them. And
Yeah.
I and
This is a huge topic, and maybe you could jump in here and tell us how do you do it? Let's see here. Let me
Ella,
Phyllis, thank you. Yes. Jump on in, Phyllis, and what's your take on this thing of how do you know when to talk about veganism and when not to?
Oh, I guess if people kind of approach me a lot of times at lunch,
Yeah.
at work, they'll bring it up. I kind of, I don't really like to talk about it that much because I don't want to get into a big debate or, I don't, right now, I just let them kind of ask me, like, what's going on? You're not eating meat. And, I tell them kind of the story. We started for health, and then we kind of noticed how horrible animals were treated, and so it's kind of turned into not just for health reasons.
Yeah.
And
yep.
Depending on how much they want to hear and how much they want to listen, then that's how much I just keep talking.
Yeah, I love that. That's very simple. And like Nick, too, this was like your first time going to this thing, and you're meeting these people for the first time. One thing that happens is if you one way to work with people is to get to know people a little better, and you can start to see ways in which you can communicate these ideas that will not offend people. So I like what Phyllis is saying. It's like you're kind of sensing how much receptivity there is, and then you respond accordingly.
Yeah, definitely. Like I'm kind of at a point where I don't really want to tell people about it unless they ask. Because
Yeah.
I mean, when you're just going up, when you like talk to someone about it, you're pretty much like a huge outcast in the world, and they don't really receive it well, and they kind of get offended because it's going against what they believe in, and sometimes they can feel themselves that they're doing the wrong thing, and they get really defensive because they don't want to be doing the wrong thing.
Exactly. I
Well,
have this. Oh, go ahead, Phyllis.
well, and I know that I ate meat for over 50 years. So, not everybody's in the same place or the same mindset.
Yeah.
Some people just have to find their own journey, whatever. Some people will say, oh, I can't ever stop eating meat. And I'm like, well, I didn't stop eating it because I didn't like it. I mean, I just stopped for just other reasons. And
Yeah.
oh, I love cheese. I loved it too, I mean,
Right.
that's not why I stopped eating it, because I stopped loving it. But so I don't know. I don't want to. I don't want to debate it. I just talk about it if they want to talk about it, and just do my thing.
There's a lot of real stuff that you're putting out there, Phyllis. I like that. It's like you don't really want to get into an argument or a debate. But you have made these choices, and I would imagine that now is it hard for you to see that you yourself couldn't recognize this earlier?
Yeah, and really, I never thought about it. I never thought about how animals were treated. I never talked to anybody about it. I was really in the dark.
Yeah.
And so now that, it's kind of like I always tell myself I drank the Kool-Aid, and, this kind of, I mean, that's my version of it. I read the book, I tasted the Kool-Aid, and then I drank it, so that's where I am.
You mean in terms of when you're using that, it's an analogy for being in the meat eating mindset or the vegan mindset?
Well, the vegan mindset, the Kool-Aid, Jim Jones. I mean, I read Dr. Furman's book, and I tasted the Kool-Aid, and then as we watched more videos and, was more knowledgeable, then I feel like I drank the Kool-Aid, and now I'm very aware of what goes on, and so I just think about it differently.
Well, it's an interesting analogy. I would say that the meat eaters are the ones on the Kool-Aid. That's what I would say.
Well,
but
that's true. That's true.
but I know that meat eaters view vegans as these kind of alien creatures. That's often the case. But you know, one benefit you have, Nick, is, let's see, how old are you, Nick?
I'm gonna be 24 in a month.
See, man, you know what's cool for you is a lot of folks your age, they're going to be much more open to these principles, and
Yeah.
so you're going to have much more receptivity. And I don't know, I'm 48, and so that's a little bit harder for me. And then if you go up to my mom is 82, and there it's like a totally different generational mindset, you know. So that's one thing to take into account. It's like, how old is the person you're talking to?
Yeah.
It's like the saying, you can't teach an old dog new tricks, you know, because they're just so set in their ways for such a long time, it's impossible to get them to snap out of it, and because they're just really comfortable with it, that's just what they know.
Exactly. And so you said, Phyllis, for you initially the incentive was health, reasons for health, right?
Well, for Brian, not for me.
Okay. All right. So okay, Phyllis, I finally made the connection. Okay. So yeah, where is Brian? Is he going to get on later tonight?
He might. He's at work.
Okay. All right.
He was trying to help me figure this out. I'm not technology savvy.
Right.
I don't even know how I got on here, Paul. It's crazy.
Well, it's great. I'm glad you did. I'm trying to figure it out myself. I feel sorry for the poor people that are trying to join us. I got to master this thing, but I think it's a cool tool for us. You know, we could get some pretty rockin' groups on here, and I think all these things that we're challenged with they're common, and if we get together, we can kind of make some headway against this obstacle of ignorance.
Yeah. That's a good way to put it.
But anyway, so how long have you been vegan, Phyllis?
I think it's been about 1.5 years.
Okay. And did you notice improvements in your health as you live this way?
I think so. I mean, I really can't. Some people, I'm kind of envious because I feel like they say, oh my gosh, I feel better. I have so much more energy, and I feel better. I don't have pain sometimes that I had before, you know, but I don't know. I feel good. I felt good actually before, I think. Oh, there's Brian.
Yeah, he jumped
I just saw
on.
Brian's face.
All right, so you haven't noticed a huge difference, but welcome, Brian.
What's going on? Hey, what's up, man? What's up, Nick? Nice to meet you, man.
Brian, I need you to turn your camera. You got it sideways. There you go.
Let me turn the other way. My bad.
All right.
Hey, my bad.
Hey, man. Yeah, I think there's something on the top of your camera, maybe. I don't know.
I gotta take it to the store or something, man. I can figure it out.
But anyway, but I'm glad you got on. I was just talking to Phyllis and asking her about her experience, and she was saying that she hasn't noticed a whole lot of difference in terms of health since she got on this diet. So that's kind of surprising. Do you find you're sleeping the same, Phyllis? Your weight has stayed the same?
Well, initially I lost weight, and I loved that. But then I kind of started a little bit crept back up. So that's what I say. I'm really struggling with I want to lose a little bit more weight.
Okay.
And you know, I didn't want to do an interview because I felt like I don't have all the answers and I don't have it all together. But you know, it's a journey, and that's
You know, Phyllis, none of us do, and that's why I love doing all these different folks, because somebody's going to relate to your experience, and we're all different, and it's especially good to hear people who are in the early stages, because that's where all the issues arise, and that's what we all want to learn about. So
I know.
yeah,
It's definitely a journey. I mean, I cooked with meat for 50-something years, and now I don't know how to cook. You know, I'm like, I don't know what to make. It's crazy.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think that's true for a lot of folks.
Back.
Hey, Brian, we got you twice, man.
What happened? It got cut off. It was like looking at y'all. And I was like, okay, I heard a dude.
All right. But yeah, I think what Phyllis is saying is interesting. I mean, you know, one of the cool things though, Phyllis, I don't know if you've searched around on the internet a little bit, but there's all these new vegan chefs and vegan cooks and vegan cookbooks. So it's kind of exploding. There's been a transition because I think first when we had, you know, veganism and then the raw food movement, a lot of the early vegan cooking was heavy in fat, and people have learned to get out of that deal. So now you want to look for vegan cookbooks that are low fat, but yeah, have you tried any recipes online or anything like that?
Oh yeah, all the time.
Okay.
Sometimes I hate them, but we just go out to eat more.
Yeah, we got some vegan restaurants we go to.
You got.
I think she does good. She fixes different meals. I think they're good. I eat them all. I mean, you know, I don't know. I think she's doing well because I mean, you know, it's like we got all these years of cooking, you know, the standard American diet. So it was kind of been a little struggle to switch over, but I think she's doing good with it myself. I mean,
That's awesome. That's awesome. Now, maybe you could tell us, Nick, like for you, you know, what they're talking about, you know, kind of transitioning from all these old meals. I know you used to eat a lot of Italian food when you were a kid, and what about you? Do you do much cooking, or I think I get the feeling you're kind of a simple guy.
Yeah. You know, I never even knew, like, before I went vegan, I never knew how to cook anything. Like, it was always, like, microwave foods and a lot of processed crap. And I put, like pizza bagels or whatever into the oven, and I knew how to put the timer on, but not really cook anything. But like now, I just want to prepare my own food now. Like I don't have anyone make my food for me anymore. Like I just want to get in the kitchen. Like I look forward to making my meals now because I don't know. I love eating plant-based now. Like I can't see myself going back to potato chips. Like I have no desire anymore. And,
Right.
And you know, at that meetup I was mentioning, there was someone that there was a I mentioned it in one of my videos recently that I put out 2 weeks ago, I think, and someone who wasn't even vegetarian yet, they wanted to know like lots of recipes, and this one guy was giving him a recipe, and it was about like 15 different ingredients. It was called Chipotle pasta. It was off one of the Forks Over Knives recipes.
Yep.
And he has like his little notepad, and he's like scribbling down all these ingredients as the guy is giving it to him. And after he's done, I'm just like, all right, you want to hear my recipe? He's like, okay, and this is a very serious guy. He didn't have any sense of humor at all. So I'm like ready for mine. He's like, yeah. I'm like, potatoes. And I'm like, they're very versatile. You know, you can bake them or microwave them, cut them up, boil them. And he's like, okay, it.
It's true, man.
And then he's trying to tell me, he's like, you know, a lot of people who aren't vegetarian, they eat potatoes, but I'm like, you know, they don't make that like the main portion of their meal.
Well,
like meat and then like a little bit of potatoes on the side.
You know, this is interesting, Phyllis, because I imagine, you know, when you're thinking of recipes, are you trying to kind of duplicate old recipes that you used to like, or do you feel like you're just kind of floating in this sea of, you know, you have all these vegetables, but you don't really know what to do with them, or?
Yeah, pretty much. I used to try to duplicate, like my delicious tacos and, you know, just all my favorite things that I loved. And so just the Daya cheese, and I just still have a hard time with a lot of the substitutes. So, I just we eat a lot of Thai food now and sushi, and so we kind of switch things that we eat.
Okay.
But like I said, we go out and eat a lot.
That's cool. I love eating out, man. I mean, yeah.
Me too. Now fine with me. It's just us. I'm down with eating out. I'm just saying.
You know, I mean, I hear you. One thing I do like is like, it can be nice just to eat something simply in its natural state, like, you know, to make a simple salad and just have a couple of baked potatoes. Or one of the cool things I always thought with if you're doing a high fruit intake, you know, you can have a meal of 7 or 8 bananas, or have a meal of, 6 mangoes. That's pretty damn easy.
Yeah.
But
I wanted to add, because like some people like just eating simple, like just having a meal of like 2 pounds of potatoes, like some people aren't really into that, and they want to make complicated dishes. But like for me, like if it's got more than like 3 ingredients, I get kind of overwhelmed, and I kind of get turned off from making it.
I hear you.
But
I'm kind of like Nick with the salt. I love my salt, so I know we have that in common.
Yeah, she loves her salt. She loves her salt.
Yeah, definitely. Hey, I eat salt too, Phyllis. I like salt, and I know some of the purists out there are wary of that, but hell,
yeah.
I mean, potatoes with a little salt, or pasta with a little salt, all the difference in the world.
Yeah, because we've tried like some like we follow Tanny Raw. Yeah, I'm pretty sure y'all seen her.
Yeah.
And we tried a couple of her recipes, and it's like it's just you know what I mean. It's kind of like baby foodish or something. I don't know. It was just too blended or whatever. You know what I mean? So,
too complicated.
Well, just. Not complicated, but just like no flavor, I think. Maybe she's way past what we are, you know, but it was just like no flavor. You know, I think even though we eat vegan, we still got to have some flavor to it, you know.
Amen. Yeah, that's a huge point, and I think a lot of meat eaters think that if they go vegan, they're going to lose the opportunity to eat all these foods they love, and the truth is there's tons of foods you can eat being vegan, but it does require, there's a little bit of a learning curve, I think.
Yeah.
It's funny because I started eating more foods than I ever have after I went vegan. I started eating a lot more variety of plant foods than before.
That's a great point, Nick, because a lot of times meat eaters claim that if you're vegan, what are you going to eat? You know, they feel like if there's no animal product, what's left to eat? And the truth is, there's all kinds of things to eat.
Yeah, I think it is. I mean, because my morning, sometimes I'll eat like 5 or 6 bananas because I just love bananas.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I can knock out 5 or 6 bananas and I'm good in the morning or something like that, you know.
Yeah, I love the simplicity of that, Brian. It's so simple.
Yeah, sometimes, I like, I buy these, I don't know if you guys ever tried them, but sometimes I'll buy like these. I don't eat them all the time, but sometimes, like when I get to the post office, if I'm in between a meal, I got these vegan bars that I'll eat. I might eat or something, like a macro bar, I think is one of them. And
are those high carb, low fat?
Yeah, carb, low protein, low fat. I
Yeah.
mean, they probably run around 6 to 8 grams of fat probably, but it's all plant based, you
Yeah.
know,
That's
and
good.
it's like making the bars are more alkaline than anything. So
Beautiful.
and I
Beautiful.
think that's helped me in transitioning too, is finding bars like, because I used to eat a lot of protein bars, before I was
Yeah.
plant based. So
Yeah, me too, Brian. I ate a ton of those Cliff Bars, man. I used to eat those 20-gram protein Cliff Bars, man. Yeah.
yeah, I used to eat those too. I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I used to tear those up. But I think that's helped me, in my transition, is just having something like that to do sometimes. And and like I said, I could eat mono meals of bananas a lot. Been working 2 jobs, I can do that a lot. So
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah, I
been a
know
little,
mono meals make it easy.
yeah,
Did you
it's been a little harder for Phyllis. I think just like I said, just coming from because she cooks most of our meals, so
yeah.
I
all
think it's more harder for her. You know.
all the milk.
Did I say olive meals? Oh, I mean olive meals.
Do you what's your take on like rice and beans, Phyllis? Do you like doing rice and beans?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
I love both of those. So
Okay.
now, and one of the girls that you talked to earlier from maybe Germany, and she was talking about how she eats fruit and maybe doesn't get the, the full filling. And
Yeah.
I kind of feel like that sometimes when I just do fruit. I don't
Mm.
know, like a bottomless pit.
Yep,
I just
I'm the
get
same
that
way.
satisfaction.
Yeah, you feel that too, Nick?
I'm the same exact way. Like I can only eat like just fruit for breakfast, and by the time when the time lunchtime comes, like there's no amount of fruit that can satiate me at that point. I
That's
tried
cool.
I tried it yesterday, and like for lunch I was at 6 bananas and 2.5 pounds of grapes, and I was still hungry. I almost had like a headache from not eating enough. It was
Dude.
crazy how that worked.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's crazy. And see,
Yeah,
like
that's
me,
real.
opposite. I could eat if I ate 6 bananas and that. I think I'd be full. I don't know. It's weird.
Well,
It's
you know what
weird.
you guys you're making me think of, Swayze Foster, she talks about this thing where she would eat tons of fruit and not be satisfied, and
Mhm.
then she added in a large amount of greens, and then it turned out she wasn't so hungry all the time.
Oh, is there?
So she could eat less fruit and be satisfied as long as she ate enough greens. So I think these greens are critical. Like enough romaine lettuce, enough salad. You gotta really eat enough greens.
Yeah.
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 So that's probably why it's not working for me, because I don't really like greens that much.
Yeah, it's been
Yeah.
hard for me. It's been hard for me to incorporate them, and now it's like I'm starting to try and eat like at least one head of romaine lettuce a day, and then any extra I can get in. Uh, so how
Yeah.
about you, Phyllis? Do you eat a lot of greens, Phyllis?
Yeah, I love salads. I do, but I guess I have trouble finding a good salad dressing. I want it to
Aha.
be healthy, but I want it to taste good. So,
All
you
right.
know,
You know who you might check out is I'm gonna type his name in here. Andrew Perlot. He's got a little book on salad dressing recipes with like raw ingredients, so it's low fat salad dressings. You might check that out.
yeah, that's what I want.
Yeah.
There's a good one I did for a while, which is real simple. You blend mango with red pepper, and you can add a little bit of water, and it makes a real nice light dressing. You can put it on. You can make a ton of it and pour it all over like a big. You could do a bowl like this. You know, fill a bowl like this,
Yeah.
and
That's
and uh, and then you do like maybe a half blender of that mango and red pepper, and that's you can eat a lot of that dressing. It's very filling.
Hey, I was
My
going to ask you.
favorite is vinegar and oil, but that's not so healthy.
Yeah, I know. I know. We all like that oil.
I was going to ask you and Nick, Paul. Like, do you guys just eat when you get hungry, or do you try to eat a certain number of meals a day? You know, how do you guys do that? Because I've heard different things from different people.
Go ahead, Nick. What do you think?
Yeah, so you're gonna hear a lot of different things from different people because it really does. There really isn't one size fits all for everybody, and
Right.
for me, I find that I do good on 3 meals a day.
Yeah.
So I try to have like 3 big meals. So I try not to get to the point where I'm hungry because whenever I do get hungry, I get like headaches and I get kind of upset with like every little thing for some reason. And I try and eat before I get to that point.
Mhm. Mhm.
And
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I kind of like to go the natural route and kind of listen to my body. The thing is, culturally, we're all programmed to have 3 meals a day.
Right.
So it's tricky, if you're interacting with family or even if you're at work, Brian, I'm sure they say, you can take a lunch break at this time, so you kind of have to take a lunch break. But
Right.
ideally, I think it would be ideal if you could just eat when you're hungry and wait until you're hungry the next time. And I bet if you did that, you'd probably find that the times that you were hungry and you ate were not always the same. And it was,
Right.
but then there's also this thing that the body has these rhythms, and it gets used to a kind of rhythm. And if you're exercising at the same time every day, and if you're eating at the same time every day, then the bowels will move regularly at the same time every day. There's something to be said for that as well.
Yeah, that is true there. Because I think, like you said, I think your body has a certain rhythm, like you say, like, even though, like you said, our jobs or whatever tries to program us. Okay, you
Yeah.
got to lunch at 11:30. Some days I'll go, you know what? I'm not eating at 11:30 today. I'll be like, I'll
Yeah,
eat
I know. Yeah.
I'll eat later on when I get to.
It's like why should you be forced to? Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm just like, okay, I'm not all the way hungry, and I don't want to feel like I'm plugging more in there, and then I'm like, later on, I might be starving, like Nick said, getting a headache or something. So,
yeah.
oh, it's a tricky thing. It is. It's a tricky thing.
It's hard. I think if we were living in nature, just picking fruit fresh off the tree, then it would be a different story. But society's come a long way since then. So
it has. It definitely has. We should ask Phyllis about what she thinks about like when we was talking to Alexis today about the beauty thing.
yeah. Did you hear that, Phyllis?
No.
Well, we had a discussion and Brian jumped on. It was cool. And it's interesting because Alexis is one of the things she does is a little modeling.
Mm-hmm.
So there's this kind of dynamic in the broader culture about beauty and what is beauty and what makes someone beautiful and what are the kind of things we'll do to alter our appearance to make ourselves beautiful and how is beauty connected to how we perceive ourselves and whether we need to lose weight or gain muscle. And we were wondering how much that plays a role in the way people actually live their lives and how important is it and is it maybe another way of looking at it that we don't need to be so concerned with physical appearance or some of the what might be considered superficial standards that society puts up for what is beautiful. That's kind of I'm throwing a lot at you, but do you have any thoughts on that?
Well, you're probably asking the wrong person because I'm all about. I feel like I want to put on lipstick right now, but I don't
I'm
know.
cracking.
Well, yeah, I'm not saying it's bad to use cosmetics, and I know most women do, and I think there's some, you'll see on some of these vegan channels, the girls have come up with these cruelty-free cosmetics. So I'm not saying it's totally wrong. I mean, and I'd be lying if I said that it doesn't affect me. Like a woman who's all dolled up, there's something attractive about that. But I also like natural girls too. So I mean, it's I don't know. It's an interesting thing. I mean, there's
Well, yeah,
what's underneath,
some women.
what's on the surface.
We-
What's
Uh-oh.
that?
I didn't hear you, babe.
Well, that's true. I mean, if not, but you have a ugly attitude.
Yeah.
Right.
I still,
Can
babe,
you
I
hear me?
think yours is kind of breaking up or something.
Yeah. We're kind of losing you, Phyllis, a little bit. I'm not sure why, but could be the cell reception, or just getting a little funny.
It could be.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I see Coco. Right? Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
We were just kind of talking about, dude. Go ahead, babe.
Well, I just said, I mean, of course, if somebody is beautiful, all made up on the outside, but they're ugly on the inside, that's not attractive. So, but you ugly on the outside and ugly on the inside too. So.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, because I think well, Alexis was just saying she thinks that vegan people get caught up in that, you got to have this look,
Right.
be vegan to have that look, you need to be slim like this, or if you eat like this, you're going to look like that. And I was just saying, hopefully it's not getting caught up in that. It's like, it's a more to it than the look you're going to have. Because, like I was talking about that one heavy set guy that's a power lifter, but he's vegan. I think his name's Bone Breaker, something like that. He's a heavy set guy, but he's a power lifter. So you got to have some kind of weight with it, but he's vegan. So he's all about the animals and all that kind of stuff. So, but I don't think you have to go for a certain look, and that's what she was saying. She thinks the vegan culture is kind of getting caught up in that same thing, like the magazines or the movies or whatever.
Yeah, the shallowness of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I feel like society kind of associates like vegan people as all being skinny when it's not really like that at all. Like I see a lot of fat people who are vegan. There's nothing wrong with that, but not all vegans have to be skinny, That's I think society just kind of made that up.
Yeah. I put you on that because I'm like, I want to be vegan. I want to be, because I feel like it's, I'm tired of seeing animals getting abused, and I'm tired of, my health was getting worse probably before I switched. But, I don't want to be. I work too hard to get the muscle I got, so I ain't trying to lose that either. So,
Right. Right.
I think you just have to. It has to be more put out that you don't have to have a certain look. If you get the look you want, that's cool, But I think it's got to be more to the culture than this, just this, the superficial stuff,
I think that's great, Brian. I do really like the fact that you've been a bodybuilder for so long, and you're such a great example for folks that want to be vegan but also want to do bodybuilding, and they can see that it's possible. But I do think it can be kind of shallow, and the way the culture forces women to meet a certain standard, which is kind of unnatural. It's complicated.
Yeah, it is. It's complicated. It's very complicated. Because, like we were saying earlier, you want. I don't want Phyllis to be not like I love her, but I don't want her to be like run around, ugly because I want to be attracted to her. But it's
Right.
what's inside. It's what's on the inside that counts.
Well,
That's
yeah.
you
I
know.
mean, it's interesting. I mean, we are. I guess we all have our individual perspective of what beauty is,
Right.
and we are attracted to beauty. I mean, I don't think we can deny that. So
Right.
yeah, I guess it's just how you define beauty.
Yeah, it is. It's like you said, it's like, I mean, because I think, especially being a follower of Christ like we are, I think
Yeah,
what'd you say, man? I didn't hear you. I didn't hear what you
kind
said.
of breaking up, Phils. Can you say that again?
Oh,
Shoot.
I think she's froze.
Yeah, yeah, she's freezing up. But yeah, what about you, Nick? Do you feel like that? I mean, how do you feel like you're affected by this? I mean, what kind of girls do you get attracted to? Does it? I mean, is you naturally we like someone who's athletic and fit. There's kind of an attraction to that, I think. But I
Yeah,
also think if you can see someone's heart, that can be a strong attraction. I guess it depends on kind of how you're wired.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I agree. It's not really about like how they look. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't want like some girl who's like 100 pounds or something, because you can tell that's unhealthy, and unhealthy kind of isn't attractive to me. But
Right.
right.
I I mean, if I think health is like one of the most things that I find attractive in somebody, and and just their personality really. It doesn't if someone's like healthy, like it just shows on the outside too as
Right.
Right.
well.
Right.
Right. Yeah, like I think Phyllis looks good. I think how women can get more zealous about how they want to look, or
Yeah,
it's more pressure on them to have a certain look or whatever than it is for us guys.
Right.
So it's more pressure on them to look this way, or wear this type of clothes or whatever, no matter if you're vegan or not. So I think she's done well with it, but she just wants to get lose some more weight. I think she looks good, but I'm probably biased, but I think she's doing well with it, and
Yeah,
it's
she looks good, man.
been in it like a couple of years, so or a year and a half. So we still got a ways to go too. So you
Absolutely.
don't, you don't know what the future's gonna bring with the lifestyle. So
yeah.
we're still new to it. Cause like how long have you been, Paul? I forgot. How long have you been?
I think I'm approaching a year here, so you guys have been doing it longer than I have.
Oh,
No,
okay,
no,
what?
no. I've only been doing it for about 9 months, pretty much.
Oh, okay.
There's
Yes,
welcome back, Phyllis.
yeah. So we're all yeah. Welcome back, babe.
Hey.
But yeah, me and I think Nick and I are got about the same amount of time doing it, and
Yeah,
so I don't know. It's a little weird for me because I've always been thin,
yeah.
so weight's never been too much of an issue for me personally. But
Yeah.
I think if I'd kept up with the high fat diet, I would have seen problems later on.
Oh, yeah.
But you
Believe
know
me.
what you might find, Phyllis? I was watching a McDougall video on weight loss with the kind of high carb vegan approach, and he
Mhm.
was saying that if you really want to do it, then what you can do is you start to increase the amount of green and yellow vegetables in relation to starches. So
Mhm.
like you probably, I mean, tell me if I'm wrong, but starches are probably making up the bulk of of your your diet, right? Like rice, pasta, potatoes. That's along with salads.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So I think it's an interesting thing. Well, I'll give you another example that illustrates this. There's some folks who do a fully raw thing, and they get so thin that their family starts complaining.
Yeah.
So to get their family off their back, they eat some starches to gain a little weight. It's not because they're feeling unhealthy, but because the starches are a higher caloric concentration, and that enables them to gain a little bit of weight so they won't be so thin. So if that is true for a raw fooder who needs to gain weight, then it means that a vegan who's eating a fair amount of starches could conceivably have weight issues, you know. So it's about, I think you may find that you need to control a little bit the pastas, the grains, and the potatoes just a little bit. And I know there's a lot of folks who reflexively recoil against any kind of caloric control, but if weight loss is a primary interest of yours, I think you can consider it. You definitely don't want to go to the point where you're not being satiated. So you want to eat enough so that you feel satisfied.
Don't worry, Paul. That's never going to be a problem, probably.
All right.
Oh, correct.
No,
Well,
I feel pretty lucky. I've been able to eat pretty much everything all my life and not really get too heavy, you know, so I'm happy. I can eat, and I mean, I would just love to be about 10 pounds lighter.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
that's why I was telling them when you got cut off. I said, Phyllis looks good. I mean, you know, I think a lot of people. I mean, I think, you know, like I said, I think it's just more pressure on women to be slimmer or whatever, you know. So those guys, we can get away with a little more weight than women can because it's not that much. I mean, it's pressure on guys nowadays because you got the guys that want to have the cannonball delts and all that kind of stuff, but they don't realize these guys are $60,000 worth of drugs a year or whatever.
Oh, right.
So, you know, I mean, but I just think it's more pressure on women to have certain looks or whatever. So, you know, but
I think
all right,
that's true.
I got to finish some work. So I'm sorry. You know me, I'm too jobbing it. So
No, thanks for jumping on, Brian. It's good to see you.
yeah, I'm glad. Hey, Nick, it's good talking to you too, man. We'll do our rapping the vegan. What I forgot the name now, Paul. I forgot. I came up with. I forgot.
Vegan keeping it real.
Vegans keeping it real.
All right, dude.
One of these days, maybe we'll have some more people on. So I don't be shaking your head, babe. I see you shaking your head over there. All right, yeah, you guys. All right, I'll see you when I get home, babe. Talk to Paul, Nick. Have a good one.
Take it easy, Brian. Peace out, man. Take it easy, brother. All right, so he's great, Phyllis, man. That guy, he's got so much energy.
Yeah.
yes, that is for sure.
He's amazing. So, well, listen, I'm thinking too. I might wrap this up shortly, but is there any other topics you guys want to discuss before we close it out?
Well, I just wanted to say that I put a couple links in the chat because you guys were mentioning something about like not knowing what to make, and there's like websites I put on the side that you put in all the food you have in your house, and then it'll give you lots of recipes for what you have.
That's cool. Do you see that, Phyllis? Do you see the on the side there? You know what?
No.
Nick, try resending that, Nick, because she got knocked out, and
Oh yeah.
let's see if I can do it. Let's see here.
What I did was I just Googled like ingredients for what I have in my house.
Here we go. I got it. It's gonna come up again, Phyllis. Check this out. Boom. So no, did it not come? Yeah.
I don't see anything.
Okay. Let's see.
It's called supercook.com.
Supercook?
Yeah, supercook.com.
Okay.
You know what it is, Phyllis? There's an option. Let's see here. Chat. Okay, yeah. Look in the upper left of your screen, Phyllis, and there's a blue icon that looks like it has script on it. Little blue icon looks like a little bubble. If you need to move your cursor. So use your mouse and move your cursor over to the left side of the screen.
I'm on my phone.
What's that? Pardon?
I'm on my phone, Paul.
Oh, you're on your phone. Okay, okay.
Okay.
That's right. All right.
I'm on my phone.
I got you. Well, what I'll do is I'll send it to your email address, Phyllis. But he's got a bunch of links on here that you might find interesting. Yeah. All right.
Okay. Well, it was fun and nice to meet you, Nick.
Thank you. You too.
All right. Thanks for jumping on, Phyllis. It was great having you.
It was an accident, but I'm glad I got on.
And good luck with the cooking. I hope you find some stuff that you like.
Yeah.
I will. I'm fine. Thank you.
Right.
Bye, you guys.
Take care.
Bye. Okay, bye.
All right. And Nick, it was great to see you, man.
Yeah, man, it was nice talking with you. I didn't get to mention everything I wanted to. I mean, I guess we can.
Well, shoot. Go ahead. What else you got?
Well, what I was what I was thinking about is, you know, if someone like doesn't want to be that preachy kind of vegan, or doesn't want to get into arguments, because I know me, like, it's a real drain of energy, and I don't really do good getting into arguments or debates or whatever. So that I tried that style before, and it doesn't work for me. So
Yeah.
And then I thought, like, am I selfish because I'm not speaking out for animals and the environment and stuff, and because I don't want to get into an argument with someone?
It's a great point, Nick. It's a great point. And, you know, I think it's a decision each person has to reach on their own, because some people are comfortable taking that, you know, militant standpoint, and you could say they're justified. But other people might argue that those militant approaches are not that effective, and that they create a lot of dissension. They're very aggressive. They're very negative. So it's
I'm trying to, like, meet new people and make more friends. You know, by doing that, it's kind of the opposite of what I'm trying to achieve, and I just don't feel right anymore, like, disrespecting someone else's, like, food choices. Just, like, even though they're doing something I'm totally against, they're still human and they have emotions too, like me. Like, I know if I brought something like a potluck and someone said, like, no, I'm not eating it because it's not organic, or like, I'm not eating that because there's oil in it or something, like, it's kind of a turn-off and kind of upsetting. So just imagine someone, like, just telling you everything you're eating is just wrong. It's just, I put myself in the people's shoes, so I don't want to feel that way either.
Exactly. It's a great point. It's a great point, Nick. And, you know, this is something that Alexis was talking about today. If you're that judgmental, it is a turnoff, you know. So I think you got a valid point, and you can, you know, a lot of people in the vegan movement are like this, and there's actually a lot of people that want to call themselves plant-based because they feel that the Vegan Association has a lot of negative associated with it, because sometimes there is such a strong ethical component to the vegan argument. Now,
Yeah.
now I would say, I've had some recent interviews where some of the people I'm talking with suggest that really ethics is the strongest way to make someone vegan, because if you can get them ethically, then they're unlikely to go back. Uh,
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
but I think you got a huge point. I mean, you know what I like, the way I like to look at it is it's kind of an art. It's an art to learn how to communicate with people about these things. You learn how receptive someone is, what is the best aspect of this dynamic that you can talk to them about. In other words, are they are they affected most by health issues? Are they affected most by ethical issues? Are they affected most by environmental issues? And whichever one resonates the most for them, that's the way you can communicate with them. Uh, but and some people are not open at all. And then it falls down to what you're saying. You want to be a compassionate human being, and you don't want to be abusive or negative or critical. I love that. I think that's beautiful, Nick. I mean, I think you're right. I think you're right, and you can sense this in a lot of the some of the channels. I'm thinking of like Dara Dubonnet, very sweet person, and it comes across in the way she presents her videos, and there's no judgment about people who are living another way. It's like it's kind of not even an issue.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's just like
so
some, I feel like I'm doing like a huge part, like being vegan, and I don't know why. Like sometimes I get caught up in like I'm not doing enough if I'm not spreading the message to everybody. But I mean that's why I have the YouTube channel, so that I can kind of air my grievances with people who I wouldn't want to tell them in person in real
yeah,
life.
that's smart.
So,
That's smart.
yeah, I found like it really clears my mind. Like if someone's like saying like, oh yeah, chicken's really good for you, the protein, and then I just get home and talk about it, because I can't hold it up inside. It drives me crazy. It gets
Dude,
me frustrated.
I think it's really smart the way you've worked it out, because with the Google, the videos, you can talk to your people who know what you're talking about, and when you're out in the world, you're keeping a kind of low profile. It's kind of like the guy you told me about who introduced you to veganism. It's like
Yeah.
he doesn't really get involved in arguments, and I respect that. You want to stay connected with society. You don't want to be ostracized. I mean, Gary Yourofsky, I think.
Yes,
I don't.
some people don't mind it. Some people don't mind isolating themselves. It just
Yeah,
depends where you're at emotionally for that kind of stuff. But I know
yeah,
me, I'm in no place to be losing friends and stuff like that.
yeah, and I think too. One thing we all have to admit is most of us have not been vegan since birth. I mean, for a long time, I ate meat and I didn't know any better. Uh, so it's
You
very
know, you
easy to be
know,
critical.
you know what's weird? I was thinking about it. Phyllis was forgot she was mentioning something about how she was like just so used to eating meat like their whole life, and then I remember me, I didn't even make any connection that it was from an animal. I just eat this, and I think it was just like any other kind of food. And and then once I found out, oh, this is from a cow, this is actually from a chicken. Like
Right.
it was crazy to be eating that stuff for like 20 years and not realizing it actually came from an animal. It's
Right.
so wild when I think about it.
It's true. It's like a totally different mindset, and until it clicks, it's like speaking another language in a way.
Yeah, but it's good that we have that experience so we can see people who are not vegan, how we can see their point of view since we've been there already.
Yeah. And you know
No.
what you're reminding me of? You might have said this yourself. I know many people that I've interviewed have said this. It's be the change you want to see,
Yeah,
and
definitely.
and it's like when you're living this way, it becomes apparent through your actions and through your health of the superiority of the position. I think, you know.
It's funny because sometimes like I kind of wish that I was overweight and I had a lot of health issues that I overcame going vegan so that I could say like I overcame this, I lost this much weight, and kind of set a better example. But I like you, I've been skinny my whole life, and most people's goals are weight loss. And when I tell people like they'll lose like weight eating vegan, high carb, they just look at me and say, "Oh well, you're young, your metabolism is still fast, and that's the only reason why you're still slim, and you probably exercise a lot." So
Right.
so it's kind of frustrating. I can't really be a good example for people to switch where I'm at right now.
Yeah, yeah, I hear you. I mean, that's the way I feel too sometimes. Yeah. Um, I mean, I can say that in many ways my health has improved, but not specifically weight because I've always had a pretty high metabolism. So uh,
Mostly what changed for me was my. I see you're kind of dozing off, so I'll let you go.
no, dude, not at all, not at all.
No, you're not tired?
No, man.
Oh, well, all right. Let me know if you want to go, because I can keep talking.
I'm gonna cut off soon, but go ahead, finish your thought.
No, I was gonna.
Hey,
I'm
John,
enjoying that. You're gonna cut off.
John Keating, what's up, man?
Hey, I just need to change the audio. One
Dude,
sec.
dude. All right. Did you have any trouble getting on, John, or
Yeah, quite a bit.
what did you? Bummer, bummer. Ha-
Alright, there we go.
Can
Is
you
that
hear
better?
us? Can you hear
Yeah.
us?
John.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah. There you go. There you are. Um, yeah. So I'm sorry it took you a while to get on, but Nick was just finishing a thought
Yeah,
about.
yeah. I was just saying how my clarity of mind improved more than any health issues I've had. I kind of I kind of just entered a new state of consciousness more than anything else I felt.
Oh, so you're saying like, what, you have a different perspective on how you view things now? Or?
Yeah, like all of a sudden, like I stopped, like most people say, like they start leading a more simple life, getting rid of cutting a lot of stuff out of their life that they don't need. And I even with my food, I found I'm a lot more simple. I feel a lot more confident, and just a lot. My emotions improved. I'm a lot more happier, and I kind of helped me uh, like abolish all of the previous belief systems I've had about everything, and it just made me really question, since meat eating and dairy and egg, eating that stuff was a learned behavior. It kind of made me look at other things in my life, like religion or like laws or rules. It made me question those as well, and
Right.
it got me a lot stronger in that sense, where to the point where I only look at things, I try and see things through a more natural law than laws that humans made up.
What about you, John? Do you think it's been that way for you at all? Has it been primarily a health issue, and you haven't really been affected in terms of consciousness? What's your take on it?
No, it's definitely changed.
Yeah.
like now, for instance, you know, when you see things being done to animals, or you think about the animal aspect more, and just generally being more compassionate towards other people, I suppose.
Right.
Understanding it from their perspective. Yeah, it's helped. It's helped with that, I think.
It's interesting because I hear a lot of people say that, and it amazes me. I think that's true for me too, but it's hard to put my finger on when or how it happened. But I guess it's just kind of an automatic thing. It's like I get if you start caring more for beings that I believe animals are sentient beings, but I don't believe they are as sentient as human beings, and so perhaps if you raise your awareness and appreciation of a less sentient being, then it raises your awareness of a more sentient being.
Yeah, I suppose.
But anyway, what about you, John? You got any vegan topics, any burning topics you want to bring up?
Vegan topics. No, I was just listening to you guys talk about whether or not you should, what is it, like, be that vegan who,
The militant.
What was it? It was like...
Who pushes the agenda?
Yeah, that's it. Pushes the agenda, yeah.
Yeah. What's your take on that?
Well, I'm kind of experimenting with that, doing...
Okay. Have you been blowing up animal production factories?
No.
All right.
No.
How have you been doing it?
I was thinking more of the attitude. I thought you guys were talking about the attitude.
No. Yeah, I'm just kidding, man. I'm just kidding. But yeah. So in terms of attitude, does that come out in like conversations with other people?
Well, actually, I was kind of thinking of the difference between my YouTube channel and how I interact with people in real life. Because in real life, I take a more balanced approach to people, a lot more balanced approach, because I know exactly what they're thinking. I know they're in attacking mode when they're talking to me about nutrition, so I just I play it down a bit, and I just say, I ask them questions and stuff, instead of saying things to them. Instead of telling things to them, I ask them, don't plants have all the 8 essential amino acids or something like that? So
I love that, John. That's awesome. Asking questions instead of making statements. I like that.
Yeah. It makes you seem a lot more diplomatic, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you had any folks that have seriously considered going vegan after they've talked to you?
Going vegan after talking to me? Yeah, I have actually. Yeah.
That's cool.
A friend of mine, I had a decent chat with him, 20 minutes or so, and he actually wanted to go vegan right there and then. So
that's cool.
I sold him. But he was already vegetarian. He was vegetarian by religion, so he was more open to the idea.
That's cool. And how would you characterize the environment in Australia? I guess we might have touched on this in our interview a little bit, but is it compared to the United States? Is it similar, like a low percentage of vegan interest, or
Yeah, I think so. But it's getting a lot better. I can see just from the interest in the vegan raw till 4, even raw till 4 community, 80-10-10 community, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
In Melbourne is a lot more, especially after the Raw Till 4 festival, actually.
Interesting.
I don't know if it's that or it's the fact that Freely's blown up on YouTube, but there's a lot more in Melbourne, a lot more activity. Like, for instance, we're having a get-together on September 6th in Melbourne, and there's about 13 people going so far. So
wow.
That's a pretty good turnout for something that's,
Huh. Did you go to the Raw Till 4 festival?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, tell us about it. How was it?
It was good. It was
Yeah.
just lots of like-minded people hanging out together. There's no judgment on what you're eating because everyone's eating the same thing. If you eat like a couple of bowls of rice or something, people are not going to say carbs make you fat or something. Or if they do, it's going to be a joke.
Right.
Yeah, it was really good, and lots of exercise. If you like that thing, I suppose.
Yeah, I saw this
And
one. I saw this one photograph, and there was like 70 people on bicycles. That was pretty incredible,
yeah,
man.
that was pretty much every day. That was the case. It was really
That's cool. That's cool, man.
good.
Well, what else, Nick?
Hmm. No, I don't. I'm gonna cut it off. It's getting pretty late, and I got work in the morning.
All right, dude. All right.
What
All
time is
right.
it over there?
It's around 10 o'clock here, and it's way past my bedtime. uh,
What what time is it with you, John?
Uh, it's just 12 o'clock p.m. So it's
Okay.
just in the afternoon.
All right. All right.
lunchtime.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's cool.
lunch.
I think this format might have some promise if I can work out the bugs. Tell me, how were you able to jump on, John? Did you finally?
Uh, I don't know. I was looking through Google Plus, looking how to do it, and then I
Okay.
looked on YouTube how to join it, and I don't know. I was looking through my page and it just popped up.
Yeah,
Dude,
I know.
that's exactly what Phyllis said. She said it just happened. It's an accident.
It
I
does.
know.
It just pops
I don't know
up. Like
how
you're
to
just
do
doing
it.
something, it just pops up.
And I
Yeah,
tried
there's like
so hard, and I can't get it.
I think there's some kind of delay. I don't know. I don't know what's up with it.
Yeah, it
But
was pretty funny.
anyway, I'm glad you finally got on, John. It's great. It's great.
Yeah, not easy.
So what I thought I might do is if I can ever get it so it's running smoothly, maybe I'll do we do a couple of these a week, and we can pick up a convenient time. We do one that suits your hemisphere, John, and maybe
Yeah.
one for Europe and one for the U.S. and we can have these vegan hangouts, man, and just kind of exploded the information out there in another way.
Yeah, sure.
So.
I mean, the more ways you can interact with people, I'm sure the more followers, the more interaction you can make. So it'll be good.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, dudes, all right. Any closing thoughts? Anybody?
Well, Paul, I wanted to ask you because you were talking. I watched the hangout you did with Will, and
Yeah,
and he was mentioning how just like most times he'll just sit down like all day and not do any exercise, and you seem like you related with him on that. So I was wondering how much exercise you do.
yeah. It's a good question. I kind of go through phases. Right now I'm trying to do Scooby's channel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, Scooby's workshop. So ideally, his intermediate workout, which would be 3 days on. I think it's 3 days on, 1 day off. 3 days on, 1 day off, and it's there's that those 3 days. 1 day is a push day, 1 day is a pull day, and 1 day is a leg day. And then all three of those days there'd be some aerobic activity. Now I don't do that much. I I'm trying to do like push pull leg, and then I run when I feel like it.
Hmm.
So it's not every day by any means, and it's funny because sometimes I feel more inclined to exercise depending upon how many carbs I've eaten. I think there is a relationship between my energy level and the quantity of carbs I'm taking in. So I'm not completely sedentary. I do stuff around the house, but I like running. I like running. I guess I used to have this thing that, if I'm running, I've got to run every day, but I'm kind of getting out of that. I don't think that's necessary. It's like maybe once, twice a week, and that way I can run a little bit longer and have some recovery time. I'm kind of getting more into slower pace running and running further. I'm up in the mountains here, so it's kind of it's challenging up here to run, and but I like it. So I mean, it's kind of a vague answer to your question. It's not like a specific schedule. I'd like to get a little bigger. I've always been real thin, and I'd love to add some muscle mass. And I think I like Scooby's program, this intermediate program, but basically it's just like a pull day is like pull-ups, chin-ups, curls, and there's some rows. That would be like a pull day. Push day would be push-ups, some presses, and what is it? A French press.
French press, triceps, yeah.
Yeah, triceps, and then maybe dips.
So it's pretty much like a lot of strength training.
Yeah. I'm not. I don't do as much aerobics as, like, say, a lot of these folks. Like Durian Rider's doing a lot of aerobic activity. I don't do that much. I sometimes think about entering some short races just to give me a goal, But I don't know about doing like super long races. I mean, it's kind of attractive, this 100-mile thing, but it's that just takes so much time, and I don't know if I'm ever gonna be up for that, So.
Yeah, and we're kind of at a point. Well, I'm kind of at a point where it doesn't matter how much exercise I do, I'm not gonna lose or gain weight. So I just try and do it for health reasons.
Yeah.
So it's not really healthy to be sitting around all week.
I think that's great. What about you, John? Do you do like super excessive aerobic stuff? Or
Yeah. No, not aerobic. Excessive exercise. Yeah, I do a lot. So I train with a former Olympic coach for sprinting.
Wow.
So
okay.
I do that 6 days a week, and it's basically just all short distance stuff. So anywhere from 50 meters to 400 meters.
Okay.
Sometimes we do some aerobic work. So, for instance, we might do an 800-meter time trial or a 2K time trial just to keep up aerobic fitness. But I do heaps of exercise, and I ride my bike everywhere. I don't have a car.
That's cool. Are you training so that you can compete?
Yeah. I compete in October. October 11th is my first competition, so we'll see how we go.
All right. Do you find that it helps because, like, once you set this goal, does it kind of force you into this mode where you're training a hell of a lot?
It does a bit, but also the fact that I train in a training squad, so there's other people there to support you, and they've all got the same goal. So it's not even so much about your goals itself. It's kind of like you run against the other people as well, and they support you, and it's all about getting it right, getting your form right, and getting a good time. And I don't know, just the environment, it sucks you into becoming better and focusing on what you can do. Yeah, it's good.
And do you find that as you progress in this training, your physical fitness reaches higher and higher levels
Yeah,
So
definitely.
yeah. And how does that affect your daily regular life, being at such a high level of fitness?
Well, it's not so much the actual training, it's more of getting to training. So it takes me about an hour to get there, an hour to get back. So
Yeah.
at the moment that my situation is not very good because yeah, it's too far away. I have to get on my bike, and it's roughly 20 to 25 minutes of riding plus 35 minutes on the train. So it's quite a
Wow.
bit of effort to do that, but I still do it. I still like going. And in terms of the actual training affecting my life, I don't know. Like I get sore feet sometimes. That's about it.
But
It takes a bit out of you.
do you find like your energy level and your physical fitness, does it in a sense make the rest of your life easier? You know,
Uh,
because
not really. I mean, I suppose it makes me more physically able in
yeah,
most situations, so I don't really have to worry about I don't know if we're moving something. I don't know.
yeah.
I'm in a physical condition to do it, or for instance, actually a good example is at the Raw Till 4 Fruit Festival. Um, we did a lot of riding, and if I wasn't in a decent uh, physical fitness, then the whole holiday would have been like a chore almost because
Ah,
we rode everywhere, and yeah, that could get quite tiring if you're not conditioned at all to that kind of thing.
okay. And that's
But
interesting because Durian Rider often says that he doesn't feel like he's exercising that much, but the
oh,
guy's pretty,
he does a lot.
Yeah.
yeah,
He
yeah.
does a
So
lot.
he's pretty fit. Yeah,
Yeah. Let's not try and pretend that Harley doesn't ride his bike everywhere. So.
yeah, yeah. Exactly. So what about you, Nick? Do you? I know you still do some boarding, don't you? You go out and get on the board for a
Yeah,
while.
that's my main source of exercise pretty much, and it is like play, you know. It's not. Every time I skate, I don't think like I got to do an hour or like 2 hours or something. It's
Yeah,
always like I go on my board and I don't think about anything else. I'm just having fun, and the exercise just comes along with it. You know, I'm always thinking of like new ways to ride my board or come up with new tricks.
yeah,
I'm just always trying to create new tricks that I don't see um, being done in the mainstream part of skateboarding. So I'm always it's kind of like a challenge as well. Like if there's like a certain obstacle, like I can try and do a trick on it for like an hour or two, and I'm
yeah.
not thinking about exercising at all. It's just like a mental challenge pretty much, and it's fun, especially when you're with a lot of other people too.
That's cool, man. That's cool.
And like when I'm not in the mood to skate or I can't, I just go for like a walk. Like I go for like an hour walk if I don't feel like doing anything else.
Yeah, yeah.
So
That's
yeah,
cool.
I like how like when I move, I like how it makes me feel. It makes me feel more alive. Like because I sat down all day today and I don't know. I just don't feel like I'm all there today. Like I feel like I need to just like move around all the time. I like being physically active.
Yeah, I think that's true. I think we're meant to move, and I think just being outside is like really good for the psychology. You know.
Yeah, definitely. But it's funny you brought up a topic and it made me think of something else. Like you mentioned when you have more carbs, you feel like moving your body more, right?
Yeah, Durian Rider talks about that, and I think there's some truth to that. I think if you're, yeah, I think if you're doing if you're unconsciously or consciously doing relatively low carb thing, it's likely that you may not have as much energy. and it seems that some of these, and maybe John, you can speak to this. It seems that a lot of folks who are doing like extensive exercise, they're the ones who do best on these high fruit diets. And
I don't do high fruit.
Right, I know you don't, John. I know you don't, but that's just a guess on my part. I mean, somebody like Grant Campbell, who's the dude up in New York? Who
Mark Arnstein.
Right. I mean, they're doing a lot of long distance stuff, and they do well on this high water content, high fruit thing. I mean, I've noticed sometimes if I do like a huge banana smoothie, I'm kind of energetically lit up.
Yeah.
It feels a bit different than say if I eat a meal of potatoes or pasta. You know,
You get the opposite.
Without a doubt, yeah.
Really, you get the opposite, John.
Wow.
That's interesting.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it send me the banana smoothie sent me into a coma.
Well, yeah.
When I eat the bananas in whole form, I get really sleepy, but not in the smoothie. So that's pretty weird.
I get sleepy from both. I just can't. The only time I can do like a lot of fruit is after a workout. It actually has the opposite effect after a workout. It gives me like stacks of energy.
That's interesting. That's interesting, John.
In the morning, I can't do it. I cannot do it in the morning.
Yeah, and I wouldn't drink, like if I'm getting ready to run, I wouldn't drink a smoothie before I'm going out to run.
Oh no, that's a terrible idea.
Yeah.
You see, I've only got like 3 bananas here, and I'll probably have like 4 more or something. So like 7 bananas, and for me that's not much at all. And then I'll make 2 cups of cooked rice and some potatoes and like that.
Okay.
I can agree with you, John. Like after I'm done, like skating for like a while or going for a jog or something, I just don't want that warm cooked food feeling. I do kind of want something cooler like fruit to eat. Like
Yeah.
I can't like because my body's already in such is so heated up to begin with. It's kind of turns me off to have like 2 cups of rice afterwards. So yeah, I like the fruit thing after too.
Yeah.
I'm kind of losing my audio on you a little bit, Nick, but you know, Alexis was talking about this today in the sense that the climate might affect this a little bit. You know, like obviously it's pretty warm where you're at, right, John? I mean,
no. Everyone seems to think that, but no, it's actually winter.
Oh, really? Okay. All right.
So it's not very nice.
Oh, okay. Well, then scratch my theory there. Okay.
That theory flew out pretty quickly.
I mean, I know, Doug Graham says this thing that since fruit, according to him, is the primary best source of food, and we're ideally suited to it physiologically, then it shouldn't matter if you're in Alaska or Russia or Cuba, wherever you're at, you know, a banana is going to be the best source of food. But I don't know. There's some psychological aspects to cooked food that are kind of go beyond that premise, I think.
Yeah, I think you got to go beyond what Doug Graham says. You know, you got to take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
Because he's the same person who, you know, got into trouble with all the fasting recently, and he's probably done it in the past as well. But have you heard about the controversy with the fasting retreats he runs?
Well, yeah, and whenever
and what's your take on that?
Well, whenever I hear that, a big red flag goes up because, you know, if we were to tally up how many deaths occur at a hospital or through conventional medical treatment, we'd have a pretty damn long list. So, you know, just by statistics, if people go to a fasting retreat center for health, you're going to occasionally get people who fail. Having said that, I think fasting is pretty damn amazing and it can do amazing things. Now, for folks like you and
What kind of fasting?
well, just if you're interested, read a book. There's a book called The Science and Fine Art of Fasting by Dr. Herbert Shelton. He's one of the natural hygienists. People who have advanced chronic illnesses can fast with great success in terms of reversing illnesses. So does that
about cancers or diabetes or?
Both, and pretty much any disease you can name. There's a few exceptions where people are already emaciated or perhaps have other issues that are contraindicated in terms of fasting, but having one person die at a fasting retreat does not mean that all therapeutic fasting should be thrown into the waste bin.
And I'm definitely not saying that, but
okay.
I'm saying from a man, Doug Graham, that is, who doesn't do blood tests and doesn't monitor his clients very well, and is just generally charging people too much for just fasting. It's hard to take his advice when he's selling something like that.
Yeah,
such a hard price.
I hear you, and I haven't always agreed with everything he says, and I find his presentation somewhat there's something about it that doesn't ring right, but and I
he's
also,
definitely a salesman. He's definitely a salesman. He's a very good talker.
Yeah. And I was really disappointed in the way the fruit festival thing with Harley and Freely was handled. I thought that was that really took down my impression of Doug Graham. So and it's interesting. I mean, maybe you can speak to this since it's kind of freed up so many people out of a strictly raw regimen. Have they found that they've been improving in terms of health, that they've now included cooked foods?
Actually don't know. I haven't. Yeah, I don't know how many people have gone from raw to raw and cooked.
Yeah.
But there were about 6 or so raw only people at the Raw Till 4 festival.
Okay.
So it was just basically high carb people. So yeah, there were some raw people there, and I find that the raw people have a lot different outlook on nutrition than people who are doing the raw and cooked thing.
Okay. As in.
No offense, but they tend to be a bit more apathetic to nutrition in general. That's just my take on it.
That's interesting.
Yeah, they tend to be like a bit more spiritual and just, I don't know, trying to ground themselves, and I don't know, like different goals to mine, certainly.
Okay, that's interesting. It used to be Durian Rider would characterize a fruit-based program as gold, and a starch incorporated program as silver. Do you think he would still say that, or do you think he would speak about it differently?
I spoke to Harley a few times at the festival. He invited me to dinner.
Cool.
And had some really good chats with him. I think most of the festival, in the Q&As, he still said fruit was the best. He did still say that.
All right.
I remember because I disagree with it. But yeah, he definitely thinks fruit is the best. And yeah, had some other good chats with him, certainly about people going onto this Raw Till 4 lifestyle and gaining weight, talking about that issue.
Very interesting, very interesting.
Yeah, he basically, not whispered to me, but he said to me, he had a little, chat to me. He's like, "Oh, yeah, these girls, they're a bit insulin resistant, so it might actually take a bit of time for them to get used to the carbs." So actually, it's not something he talks about a lot, but he does believe it. That it takes a while for people to adapt to the amount of carbs. You can't just go straight into eating, boundless amounts of carbs when you're on the verge of diabetes or pre-diabetes almost, but you just don't know it. You're
John,
not as insulin sensitive as Freely and Harley have been doing it for 6 to 7 years, or an athlete. So, like you said, athletes probably do better on it. Yeah, because they have better insulin sensitivity, and but over time it gets better, and then you can eat more.
this is a big point, John, because I've been thinking about this lately, and for a lot of people, the losing the weight is so important.
Yeah.
That you can't expect them to wait a year and a half to 2 years. I just think that's unrealistic. You've got to account for people's psychology, and and so this is something I would disagree with Durin Rider on, and I don't by any means have the experience or knowledge really to disagree with him, but but
sure.
I guess I think I like the McDougall thing, where he allows for some calorie control by increasing, green and yellow vegetables and reducing starches a little if you really want to focus on losing weight.
Yeah. And still getting the nutrition.
That makes sense to me, and it seems like if people that are overweight use that program to get down to where they want, then they can play around with increasing their starch intake and see if it affects their weight. But you got to get to that balanced center first. And if you got 100 extra pounds to start with, that's a lot of free energy just sitting in the body. It's got to be used. Yeah.
But also the other thing is, they have, because you're 100 pounds heavier, you do use more calories. So they will be able to eat a lot more than your average person, but like their base metabolic rate will be a lot higher, because weight is the biggest determinant of that. Depending, you could be doing more exercise, but it's highly unlikely. So your base metabolic rate is going to be your biggest determinant of calories. So if you're 120 kilos, you're going to need a lot more than someone who's 60 kilos. You could almost need double the amount of calories, just as a baseline. So the person on 60 kilos might have 1,500 calories. 120 kilo person might need 3,000, and I'm just guessing there, but it's probably more than that. It's probably 3,500 calories. So they can actually follow Durin Rider and Freely's recommendations if they're a lot fatter, and still lose weight quite easily without incorporating vegetables into their diet, just because no matter how much they eat of fruit and vegetables, it's still not enough for their body at 120 kilos or 140 kilos.
Okay, so, now you say fruit and vegetables. Would you also include complex starches in that?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Not so much the fatty ones, but the low-fat ones. Yeah.
Okay. What do you think of this phenomena where when people are super thin, because they're doing a raw food thing, they add some starches in, and then they're able to gain some weight? How would you explain that?
I don't know. They're not. The fruits are not that. They're not as calorie dilute as. I'd say they're about the same, like calories per 100 grams, fruits and starches. So I don't know where people get that from, really. Maybe it's easy to eat more starches. I don't know. Maybe it's
because I think I even heard Durin Rider say this one time that he and Freely just can't keep any weight on. and
Ah,
that's
yeah, they eat the fruit. Yeah.
that sometimes they are eating starch just so they can get a little weight on.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've heard them say that as well. Yeah.
Yes.
Um,
So
but that's just their thoughts. Maybe I don't know
okay,
if that's actually true
okay, okay.
because they've probably never done that. So
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, now it's hard to tell. Their metabolisms are so high. They're so
yeah,
used to this. They do so much exercise. It's hard to know what
yeah.
variable means what with them.
And I will say at the Raw Till 4 festival, people, while we tried to do our best with, reducing or not having oil in the dinners, there was still like a lot of oil, what you would consider a lot of oil in a lot of the dinners there at the Raw Till 4 festival. You could get around it by just ordering really simply, like just potatoes and rice, but no one really was willing to do that. And yeah, Harley didn't really seem to care much about that. Like he ate high carb. Don't get me wrong, but when we're at the table, he just order like it looked oily. You could tell, and he'd just order that and just have lots of that
Like
flavoring.
a like a traditional pad thai, he would order that and eat that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Whatever was going, he'd pretty much order that as long as it was vegan.
Yeah.
But yeah, just order lots of rice with it. So that's how he did that. But
Yeah.
yeah, I suppose that's a different. That's a bit of a tangent there, but yeah, that's what he did.
It's interesting, man. Was it expensive for you to get out there?
It's about $1,200 for flights,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then staying there was super cheap. It was about $15 a night.
Was it a pretty energetic vibe with that group?
Yeah, 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 lots of energy. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'd say actually, thing I noticed is that there were the girls at the Raw Till 4 they weren't as athletic as the guys at the Raw Till 4. And I don't know what it was, but a lot of the girls were, I'd say, recovering from eating disorders. A lot of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the guys there were all just super athletic. Like they just all had six packs pretty much.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was interesting. Yeah, that.
That's interesting, John, because I feel like that's a huge component of what Duran Rider and Freely are doing with this young female demographic. In a way, they're addressing these really deeply entrenched negative eating patterns that you can find amongst young women, and I think that plays a role in this what seems to me overly heavy emphasis on eat as many carbs as you want.
Yeah. That's obviously what it's all about. They just the reason they say that is just to make sure. It's not really their message is not really eat as much as you can and like get
Get
full
sick.
and sick or whatever. It's about eating enough in a normal manner, not starving yourself on purpose.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of the girls there, I mean, you could tell they had either anorexic backgrounds or because they looked emaciated. So I think I think it was a big issue at the Raw Till 4, or even just in the general community. Freely's following, particularly, just in that mindset, and it's not healthy.
Did everyone look like they were eating as much as they wanted?
At the festival, yeah, definitely. Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
I think the community spirit made everyone just eat mainly the same way. Actually, there was one person, and I'm not going to call out their name, but he was a bit different to the group. He was more about fasting, and
Okay.
and he had just come off a fast, and I saw his profile picture, and he looked really gaunt, and now he's probably 20, 30 kilos overweight.
Wow.
And he took us to the some organic restaurant, and he didn't really order much. He ordered a big salad and some leaves or something, and he said that it would help detoxify him, and I don't know. He had a lot of random stuff, but he didn't eat lots of rice and all that kind of stuff. He was more raw and specialized vegetables kind of person. I don't know.
Okay.
It was weird.
Interesting.
He said that I needed to use. He said it was child abuse if you didn't use charcoal to clean your children's teeth.
Well,
What's that about?
That's I've never heard that before. I don't know.
Charcoal. If you don't use charcoal, it's child abuse.
Well, perhaps he's referring to the popular use of fluoride toothpaste, which I guess is arguably not that healthy, but I don't know.
There's heaps of toothpaste without fluoride, so I don't know what he's talking about. I really don't. Anyway.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it was interesting at the time. He was talking about lots of that kind of stuff, and I was kind of like, oh, just
come back to planet Earth.
Yeah, pretty much. Just stop. Just where are you getting this from? He's talking about the Egyptians. They knew everything, and I don't know, lots of stuff. It's crazy. Yeah.
This is interesting. You know, you get some of this, and in the vegan, there's kind of these new age and vegan and spiritual lines running through together, and it's it's complicated.
Which I don't mind, but it's not my thing.
Yeah. I mean, some of it's interesting, and I've certainly I'm into the spiritual stuff, but I like it to have some kind of relevance or some kind of grounding. I'm not. There's so much charlatanism and speculation that doesn't have a firm grounding. And anyway.
Yeah. Well, obviously, there's stuff that's just silly. In my opinion, anyway, it's a bit silly.
Yeah. So what was it like over there? Now, my understanding was that there was some kind of was there a curfew, or there was? No.
All that stuff was a joke. Like nothing was going on there at all. It wasn't. It certainly wasn't occurring in Chiang Mai.
Okay.
So all those rumors and speculation about is there police there, and is it a police state, and there's a curfew and all that kind of stuff. There was no curfew, no police. There was nothing there, nothing going on. It's just like normal life, normal everyday life, I think.
And do you think they'll do it again next year?
Yeah, they'll do it again next year. They've already planned the dates, so we'll see.
Beautiful. So refresh my memory, John. Are you in college, or are?
No, I finished.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just doing YouTube, just doing the sprinting, and I need to finally finish my personal training course. In fact, I'm going to go today, and I'm going to get the placement done. I need to do 20 hours of supervised placement.
Okay.
I'll go and get that done today, and hopefully that'll be the end of that. That finishes my course.
All right.
But yeah, other than that, not doing anything else.
That's cool, man. That's cool.
Not making enough YouTube videos. That's what I'm doing.
You're not making enough.
Yeah, not making enough. Oh, one of
All right,
my
all right.
one of my videos got banned.
No way.
Yeah, copyright
What?
strike.
Are you kidding? What did you say in it?
Nothing, but I got a copyright strike from Do you know Elliot Hulse?
Yes. Yeah.
I used some of his footage. He was lying down on a bed getting a massage, and he went crazy. He just started like going like that on the ground, and so I took that footage and I put it with rave music, and and, we did that, and yeah, it got flagged by Full Screen, which is his studio.
John, I love it, man. You shine a little light on the shady side. I like
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. I tried, but and it got lots of views, but like I think it got 500 views in 12 hours, but
Damn.
not allowed to have that,
Yeah,
unfortunately. I've uploaded it again on a different channel.
we can't have too much truth out there, man.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And he was smoking as well. I got him smoking.
Dude, would you say he uses the gear?
Yeah, on the gear,
Yeah.
he's already admitted to it, so
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't know.
Okay. Yeah.
But that was the point I was getting to before about the different attitudes vegans have in terms of like being pushy or not, with the vegan message and all that, and getting in people's face. Well, I tried that, and that's not even about veganism, but it's very hard to make videos that talk about the truth without getting in trouble. Um,
You know,
so
that's interesting that you say that because I mean, Durian Rider's kind of a master of that,
yeah,
and yet at the same time, I don't agree with everything he says.
yeah, yeah.
So that's it's an interesting point you're making. I don't know where to come down on it. I respect people like Durian Rider and like who's the guy Jurowski. I mean, I
Gary Rodson.
respect that enthusiasm and
Yeah.
drive, but I don't know that I'm going to do that. And I
I'm not either. I'm gonna change it. I'm not gonna
yeah
do it that way.
yeah
I can't
I
see that being sustainable.
yeah, and I think this kind of plant-based movement, it seems within this, people who want to identify themselves as plant-based, I think there's a reason for that. It's they don't want to they want to get away from this kind of
Vegan.
polar kind of fighting back and forth,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
this
I
thing.
don't mind the vegan word. I don't think. I know people don't like that word, but I don't think that's the problem. I think it's more of your attitude. Like
Yeah,
if you had such a militant attitude, um, you're going to really only attract other vegans. You're not going to get more people into the movement.
yeah,
Um,
amen. Yeah,
that's what I think anyway. So I think I'm going to change my. I've done this lots of times, but I'm going to change the way I'm doing things because I haven't worked it out. After 2.5 years, I still haven't worked out what my channel direction is. So I think what I'm going to do is I've thought of a slogan. What is it? The voice of reason.
I
I think I'm
like
going to
it.
be the voice of reason. So, and I'm going to focus on videos, more Q&A, more just talking about topics, just stuff that I like doing, rather than trying to get lots of views and get all do all this stuff. I just want to focus on stuff I want to do, I want to present, rather than what other
I
people
love
are
it,
doing.
John. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah,
We'll
that's
see how
kind
that
of
goes.
that's kind of the way I feel. I can't say that I generate millions of views, but
Yeah.
I do it the way I like, and I do it what I'm so it's cool.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it's more sustainable to do it the way you like, I think.
Yeah,
And the people who like that will, join the team. And
exactly.
yeah. over time it'll get bigger because there is a market for pretty much everyone. There is, like, take for instance Potato Strong. Now, some people would say he's boring. He talks too slow and all that kind of stuff. But other people would be like, yeah, that's great. I love how he's so analytical and methodical and just,
Yeah.
he talks slowly and like it's on my pace and I like he's inspirational and he posts all that kind of stuff. So, people have different things and the people who are attracted to you will just naturally come towards you. Now, whether or not that's a bigger market than someone else, who knows? But at least you can do that on a sustainable, time schedule.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think that's a huge point. Yeah, he's very grounded and very accessible and supportive, and
Yeah.
there's like very little negativity.
Yeah.
It's a very positive thing. So
And he's got plenty. He gets plenty of hits.
yeah, he does. I think
I
he
mean,
was.
not hundreds of thousands, but plenty.
Yeah, yeah. I think he's been surprised by his numbers. I think. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but and happily. So yeah, yeah.
But he's done well, I think.
He's
He's
what?
he's done well. He's set up. He's put a lot of effort into what he does.
Yeah, I need to look at some of his stuff. I could probably definitely do some improvement, like in terms of having an intro to every video and spicing it up with other kinds of editing, I guess. But
No, like like generating more interest by making a page more active. So, say for instance, your raw and cooked page, posting recipes and posting what you ate and all that kind of stuff, and it doesn't even have to be scientific, or it doesn't have to be a motivational quote or anything. It just has to be like what you're doing on a daily basis, so people can see into your life, and if you just keep a daily thing of that going, people start to follow it, and it just grows bigger and bigger. Kind of like Potato Strong. I find that he doesn't really. He shares a couple of McDougal statuses, but what he mainly does is share what he's doing, and I think that works well for him. And then he's got his website with all his recipes, and
yeah,
I think that's the way he's got it set up is really good.
that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah. Anyway, is it late over there?
It's approaching 11 o'clock, so
Okay.
I should probably sign off. But I'm so glad you jumped on, man, because it's cool to hear the. I haven't been following the Roxelle 4 Fruit Festival videos, so it's really cool
Yeah.
to hear what went down there.
Yeah, bit of news. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, by the way, you got to incorporate the. I think a Q&A would be good for this.
Yeah. Now I saw that. So
Yeah.
so let's say I click that. What is that?
This page is disabled.
Okay.
Says on mine anyway.
That's what it just said to me too. So I guess I have to enable it at the beginning maybe. But
Yeah.
is that basically allow people to type in text messages or?
Questions, yeah. And I think that would be the best thing, because people want to ask questions. People want to, I reckon that would be the best. Interact. They want to interact.
Does that allow them to ask questions without getting onto video?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Pretty sure it does. I hope it does. Scooby does it. Scooby does the live hangouts.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
He has a Q&A, but he has various sources for his Q&As. He has he goes to Facebook, and then he goes to YouTube, and then
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Ask Scooby forums. So he uses multiple questions, but I don't know. Maybe if you could get the Q&A working, and if people actually post questions, that'd be good.
Yeah.
It's always good to have interaction.
Do you have a big Facebook page?
Not very big. It's about 1,000.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like I should do more over there, and I just never do.
I don't know. Facebook's kind of a hit and miss as well, because some of the statuses get more reach than the others. So I'm
Okay.
not sure what's going on there. Like some, for instance, just fall in the water, and some just they go crazy, and you get maybe 500 people, 500 reach, which is basically 500 people have seen the status.
Huh.
And then other times you get 20 or 30, so it's definitely a hit and miss.
Okay.
Yeah. Unless you pay, and I'm not willing to pay.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah. So, yeah. So
All right.
Q&A would be good.
Well, dude, it's great to chat with you, and it sounds like you found your direction, and you're gonna head on it. That's good, man.
Yeah. This month. Yeah.
Dude, I hear you, man. Hey, stay flexible. It's the environment's always changing. It's good that you keep refining it.
Yeah. So at least I'm doing it. All right.
All right, man.
All right. Good chatting.
Yeah, thanks a million, John. Take care of yourself.
Thanks for having me.
All right.
See ya.
Later, brother.